Hi guys, I'm Mark and I'm an Oyster Boy, and today I'm going to be throwing another beer kit that I've picked up from the Malt Miller. This time I'm pretty excited about this one, to be fair. So the one I'm making today is the Even Sharks Need Water kit, which is an official recipe release from Verdant, which they I think they gave out to the guys at the Malt Miller maybe, it's probably like a year or 2 years ago now, and that was to celebrate the release of the Verdant IPA yeast, which is included, well actually it's not included, you have to buy it separately, but this is the Verdant IPA yeast that you can pick up from Lallemand. So this is the actual house yeast that they use there. When you pick up this kit, I think at the time of making this video, I think it's like £68 plus the price of the yeast, so you're looking at just over £70 for the kit. You will get a lot of grain. There is 5.4 kilos of grain, which will give you a beer, 19 litres of about just over 6.5%, I think, if I can remember that rightly. But the bulk of the price of this kit is made up by this sheer volume of hops that you receive. So if you have not tried Even Sharks Need Water, grab a can of it and give it a go, because it looks great, smells great, and tastes great. It's an absolute fruit bomb. Yeah, keep watching. I'll show you how this one turns out. We'll do a side-by-side at the end, but I'm going to go get doughed in because I'm way behind schedule today. So that first bit there was my salt addition going in. They do recommend in the recipe for this one that you pay attention to the water profile, and the guys in Verdant have been kind enough to give you their entire water profile, or what they think you should be aiming for in this beer. Now the bulk of the grain is made up of just over 3 kilos of crisp extra pale malt, which is actually the crisp, pretty much crisp lager malt. As always, when I'm dumping grains in, I go pretty heavy on the first bit. I do give it a thorough stir, and to improve my efficiency, I actually stir throughout the mash as well. I find if I leave the top plate off and just stir as it's mashing, I get much better efficiency than if I don't. Like I say, I went for the extra oat husks in this one because there is a portion which is made up of wheat malt, wheat flakes as well, and oats. And for me, they sound like an absolute recipe for a stuck sparge, which I want to try and avoid as much as possible. The strange thing about this recipe, actually, it's only a 45-minute mash at 67 degrees, which should hopefully leave us with no residual sweetness in the beer, and there's no mash out. Normally, you know, when I'm profiling a recipe, I'm like, oh yeah, 65 degrees, then 75 degrees. On this one, it's literally 45 minutes at 67, hop on straight to the boil. Yeah, in the second bag we've got pale wheat malt, rolled wheat flakes, carapils, jumbo oat flakes, and golden promise as well. Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we are the Oyster Boys, and I'm back. I'm excited. You've obviously seen me make this, seen me put it into the fermenter.
But it's one of those where you couldn't wait to fast forward into the future
for the
beer to be made.
I've already drank my keg. Like, honestly, so I split this into the 2 small kegs, like the little 9-litre cornies. How long did mine last? 9 days.
Wow.
And I was working all that week as well, so it's yeah, it's gone really quick. So this is like the side-by-side of the Even Sharks Need Water kit, which is available for purchase from the Malt Miller. Link in the description down below. And
did you get cans from them?
No, so these cans I actually got from my local pub.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yes.
The Homebrew tap in Chester.
You say it's local, you just ignore that one on the top of the
road.
road.
I ignore the other one at the end of the road, yeah. So it was funny actually, because we've been looking online at getting the cans, and I've had this beer quite a few times before, and I've ordered it from Verdant, and I really like it. You didn't really want to order 6 cans of it, especially on the basis that you had a keg of it in your fridge. So we were like, right, where can I buy it online? And we get bent over and spanked by postage. And then I walked into my local pub, and they had like 6 cans of it in the fridge, so I just bought them all.
There we go, makes sense.
Yeah, so I drank all the rest of them.
You buy them all because you're like, well, I'll save on delivery, so it's basically that you just saw that as free beer.
Yeah. And then I drank the other 4 like when I got back from the pub, so just to save these 2.
On the way home, 3 didn't make it back home, did they?
Should we get these in the glass, and then we can see how they look, yeah?
Yeah.
Mega. So when I talked to Penny about getting this kit first time round, he got really confused because I was saying Verdant and you thought I was talking about Verdant, is it?
Yeah. You were on about going there, but that's a trip to Belgium. You're like, why the hell is he going to Belgium?
Bit nicer, isn't it?
Wow, mate, that is insane. They are. You would not be honestly. If you would not be able to tell the difference, would you?
No. And which is which? Right. This is the commercial one.
Yep.
This is the homebrew one.
Yep.
That is spot on. Absolutely spot on.
So,
well,
there's no chance of oxidation because if you've oxidised it, they've oxidised, which I don't think they have.
No, and
we knew that anyway.
To be fair, you'd expect it to be spot on because this is the real Verdant recipe. They They released.
So it's their yeast, isn't it?
They released their house yeast through Lallemand.
Okay.
I think it was Lallemand. Yeah, Lallemand. And to celebrate, they published this recipe, and then the Malt Miller released it as a kit.
Okay.
It's funny actually. I watched a video from another YouTuber, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've made the even sharks need water recipe because they published it, but I added X, Y, and Z to it. I was like, well, you haven't made it then. You've actually made a different beer. But yeah, I already know this is amazing. I mean, looks-wise though, that's like identical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's identical, and that looks an absolutely amazing beer.
It's like 25 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give that a 9.9.
Yeah, I will.
I think you've done a really, really good job, or they've done a good job.
Everyone has done a really good job.
You know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to go there.
Oh,
give it a 10.
I can't because if I then see one that looks better, I can't. So yeah, 9.9 I think is fair.
Yeah, but like, how can you say that? Because every time you see a beer, you go, well, there might be a better one somewhere.
It's like figure skating, isn't
it? But someone else might get a 10.
True. I'm sticking to my guns. Don't let James
I think it's faultless.
Should we smell it?
Yeah. Are we smelling R1 first?
It's too late. I've already smelled R1. Oh my god. So when you're making this, right? There is. I'm gonna smell that. Yeah, it's the same beer. Of course, it's the same beer. This one maybe smells a bit grassier.
Yeah. I imagine ours is fresher.
No, so the canned date on this is the 20th of April, and I'm pretty sure this was kegged pretty much around the same time.
Interesting.
We're a bit behind on things if you see when this video goes out compared to that because COVID house over here. So.
Well, maybe the fact that mine was frozen might have taken away a bit of the aroma head.
No. It's only briefly frozen. Only briefly. Yeah. It's a 9.5 out of 10 on aroma. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.
So when you're making this, the hop additions, there is a first wort hop addition of like the tiniest amount of hops.
Okay.
And then everything else is the Whirlpool and the dry hop. And the Whirlpool and dry hop additions are huge. It's Citra and Galaxy. And like I use a hop bong on top of my Firmzilla all-rounder. And I had to fill it twice because there was that much of a dry hop addition going in. So I had to fill it, do it, fill it again, do it again. It was crazy. So did that, then cold crashed it, and then close transferred it into the two kegs.
And what's the idea of putting the hops in during the wort? Not the wort,
in the Whirlpool? The first wort hops?
The wort, yeah.
It's a different way of adding bitter in. People say it gives you like a more rounded bitterness rather than a sharp one. I've got no idea, personally. I don't know. Or maybe it's just about getting better hop utilisation and extracting more. I'm real thirsty. Can we get them, please?
Yes,
right, should we try theirs first?
Okay.
Yeah. Cheers. 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 Cheers.
Cheers. Can it get any better?
I know, mate. Weather's like this.
28 degrees. And you got this on draft, and obviously the real thing.
It's like fruit juice. You do get that bitterness though, don't you?
And I had a delicious egg sourdough sandwich just before. So.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you do get a slight bitterness.
Which is, it's actually really nice to go with it. Because normally if I get like a NEIPA or like a really nice pale, I don't want too much bitterness in it, to be fair.
Oh, it's just... Yeah,
but it's really, really balanced, yeah. Really, really nice. And I think it was something like, it was only like a 6-gram addition for that first wort hop.
Hop, yeah.
It's the one that's on the bottom of the screen right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a really tiny addition of that. And then, like I say, nothing at all until the Whirlpool.
Yeah.
Should we try the homebrew version?
Yeah.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. So similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so similar. Has it changed much since it's frozen? Can you remember?
No, it tastes the same.
It tastes the same.
And with this one as well, they give you really good tips on the water profile.
Yeah.
down at the bottom on the recipe page.
The carbonation's increased a little bit.
Yeah, I think while you've had this on gas, it's taken on a bit more of the CO2, but I mean, it's the same beer.
Yeah.
It's the exact same beer, and the mouthfeel is spot on as
Yeah,
well. Like, that water profile is amazing. I would probably, if I was going to, I mean, I am going to, one moment please. I am going to make a big Boss NEIPA coming up soon.
Yeah.
My own recipe, right? But
Yeah.
I will be using the water profile
It's
from this
silky,
beer.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
So
silky. Luscious, silky.
It
like
coats your
smooth.
mouth, but not sticky.
Yeah.
It's almost like, not chalky, but like that sort of.
Yeah, it is. Depending on your water, you might struggle to match that water profile. So we use RO water, and although I aimed for their water profile, I just got as close to it as I could with the additions that I have. But I wasn't, really, really picky about hitting it exactly, because the only way I'm going to get their water is to go and get their water and bring it back. Yeah, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because the way they're like Truro or somewhere like that, it's proper down south
It's
somewhere.
near Penzance, isn't it?
Penryn, TR10, yeah, Truro. Proper far away. I'm not going there to get the water. I think
No,
they do
but
have a
you'll be
place
going
that does
there to drink
pizzas
the
as
beer,
well.
that's
Yeah,
for
and I
sure.
think they've got a place in London as well. Like, they've partnered up with another brewery and they've got a tap room in London. I think that might be a lie. If it's true, I'll leave it, and if it's not, I'll cut it out of the video. But mate, this beer, I mean, I can tell you that I smashed it in a matter of days. So the flavour score for me is insane.
It's right up your street, isn't it?
This is what I want. Like, I've got... It's what I want, because I've got 2 taps at home inside, 2 outside, and if I could just have a lager on one and this on another, and the same outside, mate, I'd be...
Smoking the meat.
Smoking those meats, like the Zuck, smoking those meats. Smoking meats and drinking this, mate.
Yeah. So, and also we can say that yes, you can freeze.
Yeah,
your,
if you accidentally put one solitary small corny in a very high-powered fridge on the highest power setting and leave it, and it freezes, when it defrosts, it's fine.
Well, the theory I was thinking that if you could only fit one keg in your fridge and you've got people going round, you could freeze one, let it defrost in the sun. Once that other one's finished, you can.
Yeah, but how long does it take to defrost that keg then?
I don't know. It depends how hot it is.
It takes a
Sounds
while,
desperate.
mate. It's like a 10-kilo lump of ice. It takes a while. But anyway, it's a 9.5 out of.
For taste,
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
yeah, 9.2 for me.
Yeah.
It's up there. It really is. Really is. I mean,
I'm blown away by how good
is
this
it
is.
dry yeast as well?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dry yeast, just the one packet of it.
Yeah.
And it's quite. I think it's 6.5% this beer, isn't it? Yeah, 6.5%.
6.5%.
I would have expected to have had to added 2 packs of yeast for that, but no, just the one.
Yeah. I can't believe it's just 2 the hops. It's
Citra Galaxy, and I think it was something different for the bitter.
okay.
But there was so little of it in there. Negligible.
Yeah. Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Wow.
What do we say on price? So this kit is £68.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons
Why we didn't do it,
Not because
yeah.
we're high rollers, but we wanted to do it because I imagine there's a lot of people out there that are thinking, £68, do I really want to do it? That's plus the yeast. Sorry, without the yeast.
Yeah. So it's £68, and then the yeast.
Is there different options of yeast? Is that why there's?
Well, they recommend the Verdant one, and I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't done it yet, because £68 plus the yeast. So we're looking at 72 quid for a beer kit. I think there's probably only a couple of beer kits more expensive than that on the Malt Miller. I'm looking at you, Dudes Brews. You're fucking super expensive, but
he did win an award for it though, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah. And we're probably gonna have to do that at some point, or maybe he'll send us a bottle. Yeah, it's what does that work out at? £2.6 a pint, we said, didn't we?
£2.6, yeah.
£2.6
With the yeast included. With
the yeast.
Verdant.
Yeah. It's expensive, right?
So how much did you pay for the can?
Over £6.
Right.
So you're getting exactly the same beer.
Yeah, because it is
the exact same beer.
It's the same.
For a third of the price.
Yeah. When you put it, well, that's what you have to.
And for me, because I love this style of beer.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this. If someone held a gun to my head and said, Mark, you can only make really hazy pales, hoppy beers, and NEIPAs again for the rest of your life, bin off lagers, any other kind of beers, I'd be like, okay, fine. That's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to give it. Oh, but it's so expensive though. I can't give it a stupidly high score. I'm going to have to give it an 8.
Yeah.
An 8, I think.
I think, yeah. But for what you get, I think it's really worth it. So I'm going to give it a 7.7. So,
Sessionability, mate.
can you go first? Because I'm really interested to see what you're going to give it.
I can. I could do 8 of those.
8?
I'd say 10, but it's 6.5%. I'd fall over. I'd fall over after 8.
Well, how many did you do? What's the most you did in one session?
Probably about 8. Because the thing is, but the problem is when it's on.
Farts you did do next.
Oh yeah, hoppiest farts in the world, man. Like my wife's like, have we bought some new flowers? I'm like, it's just my ass. But like honestly, it's like when having this on tap at home is dangerous because it's 6.5%. But does it taste 6.5%?
No, not at all.
So well masked.
It feels it.
So well hidden.
It feels it. It doesn't taste it.
And yeah, it's an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. For me, just purely the fact, you know what I'm like with hops, I'm going to give it 6.5.
Still a wildly high scoring beer, though.
For me, yeah. I mean, I don't know whether.
I mean, just overall.
I think it could be top. Well, for probably one of the most expensive beers.
I think probably the most expensive beer kit we've done.
But you're getting value for it. 100%.
Oh yeah. I will absolutely 100% be making this again.
Yeah.
It's easy. I mean, I would say if you haven't got something that you can do closed transfers and oxygen-free dry hopping, be wary if you're going to do this beer because it is probably so easy to fuck it.
Yeah, and that's expensive.
And it's a really expensive mistake.
Suddenly you're on a £140 beer then, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, because we've spoke a lot
Certainly
recently.
Don't bottle it.
The Malt Miller have just put out a really good video actually about pressure fermenting.
Okay.
I'll put a link to it like up here.
Someone else has done a video about the Apollo and pressure fermenting.
But that was us. Yeah, it might have been us. Yeah, but there's so many affordable routes into pressure fermenting now, and even if you don't use it as a pressure fermenting vessel, the ways that you can then get to do oxygen-free dry hopping and closed transfers mean that beers like this are possible. I was brewing in buckets before, and I had to make the Siren Soundwave kit 3 times because the first 2 times I absolutely ruined it, and that kit's not cheap. That kit's really not cheap, and I ruined it twice. Then I moved over to pressure fermenting, and I've not had the same problem since. So,
and I think maybe
like I said, it's not about being under pressure.
Yeah, if you're, because some people genuinely have got it down to a T using a plastic bucket and doing dry hopping. So if you're that thing, but
if you're really good at it, yeah, go for it. Because with this as well, you're not dry hopping at peak Krausen, at high Krausen. Okay. You're dry hopping after fermentation is finished.
Yeah.
So you're not hunting for biotransformation. I think that's actually the phrase that they use. We're not hunting for biotransformation in the recipe. But they are hops that are going to make it hazy.
Yeah.
Right? And the yeast, the verdant yeast, leaves things hazy anyway. So you're not. This murk wasn't achieved by hopping it while it's like 1 day into fermenting. This was done after it had finished.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do that in a plastic bucket, you're probably gonna struggle. I would say.
And if you're thinking about it, you can buy the real thing, knowing that it's going to taste exactly the same.
Yeah. If you're worried about not being able to make it and don't want to fuck it, just spend £6 a can on it.
Yeah.
Which I would say though. £6 a couple of years ago, I'd have been like, what, £6 for a beer? Oh, no way. I'd pay £6 for this beer.
Yeah, I mean,
if I didn't have it on
draft,
tap,
it's going to be more expensive.
I still buy this, even though I've had a whole keg of it at home. When I'm in my local and they've got it in, I buy it.
What, on just a can?
Just a can, take home.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'll drink in there whatever they've got on draft. So they've just had a Track tap takeover. So the Track have got some great beers. They've had that. They've had a Daya tap takeover in there. But if they've got this in the fridge, I buy whatever they've got and take it with me.
You're that guy that buys all the big wave.
Oh yeah, that guy.
But the version of.
But the Verdant guy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Verdant Mark.
Yeah. I assume we're pronouncing that correctly. It's not Verdant.
I don't know.
Who knows? But I mean, hats off to Verdant for making an absolutely amazing beer.
Yeah.
The Malt Miller for selling the really good kit for it.
Yeah.
And me for making it. Yeah. So, here's the score for the Even Sharks Need Water kit from the Malt Miller based on the Verdant recipe for the beer. Absolutely banging. Smash like, hit subscribe, make this beer. That's brilliant. Oysters out.